Hello guys, muli ito naman po ang inyong lingkod, Amjad Ayyed TV. Yes, this time bibigyan naman tayo ng panibagong reaction sa video na kung saan makakapagbigay sa atin ng magandang aral. So, wag na natin patagalin guys. Nga pala, maraming salamat sa inyong suporta sa ating channel. Sana patuloy kayong sumuporta at patuloy rin tayong magbibigay ng magandang mga video para sa inyo, para magiging baon natin sakali. At sa ating mga kapatid na hindi pa Muslim, iniimbitahan ko kayong manood ng aking channel, aking mga videos, pang sa ganon kahit papaano may matutunan tayo about sa Islam. So, tara na guys, panoorin natin yung video.
Yet another of these 10 major signs is the rising of the sun from the west. The rising of the sun from the west. And this is not something that the Quran explicitly mentions, but there is an implied verse. يَوْمَ يَأْتِي بَعْضُ آيَاتِ رَبِّكَ. The day that some of your signs of your Lord will come. لا ينفع نفسا إيمانها لم تكن آمنت من قبل أو كسبت في إيمانها خيرا. Allah says in the Quran, by the way, this is Surah An'am, verse 158. Surah An'am, verse 158. The day that some of your Lord's signs will come, it will not benefit anyone to accept faith at that time.
Panoorin po natin guys hanggang sa last part ng video at para magkakaroon tayo ng educational mind about sa Islam.
Clear? Where do we learn that this ayah is a reference to the sun rising from the west? From hadith literature. And this is authentic. Bukhari, Muslim, many hadith are there. And of them, Sahih Bukhari, Sahih Muslim, muttafaq alayh, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, Qiyamah will not occur until the sun rises from the west. And when the people see it,
ng araw, guys,
they will all believe. Then he recited this verse, that when they see some of the signs of their Lord, it will not matter if they believe at that time,
init ng
if they
araw,
hadn't
guys.
believed before.
Mantakin
So,
ninyo sa huling
our Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam
sa after death natin,
this ayah
day of
with
resurrection. Yan,
the sun
ilang
rising
dangkal
from
lang yan
the
sa ulo
west.
natin guys.
And in another hadith in Abu Dawood, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam said that the first of the signs will be the rising of the sun from the west, and right after it, at duha time. Duha is what time? Duha is before dhuhr. 9 to 11
Ito yung sign
o'clock,
guys
depends on where you're living. The Prophet
magugunaw na
the first of these signs will
mag-start
be the
ng
rising
magunaw
of the
ang
sun
mundo.
from the west. Then right after at duha, the dabba will come. We'll talk about the dabba in 5 minutes. Wait for me. The dabba, we'll talk about it. Right after this, the beast will come. And the Prophet ﷺ said, whichever of these comes, the next one will follow immediately. In other words, maybe the dabba will come at duha, and the sun will come from the west the next day. Or maybe the sun will come
na
from
daw
the west,
guys
and the
yung
same
sign
day, because that's going to be the Fajr time, the same day the beast will
na
come.
malapit nang
So
magunaw ang
there
mundo.
are at least 6 or 7 ahadith, 3 of them at least in Bukhari and Muslim, that mention the sun rising from the west. Now, this is something where, frankly, our minds have no majal. It is explicit, it is authentic, and so sami'na wa ata'na. You cannot make a reinterpretation. It's pretty clear. Yani the whole point. Now, there have been some people who say, oh, the sun can never rise from the west, so this means, mashallah tabarakallah, American Islam will dominate the globe. Mashallah tabarakallah. You know this is a famous interpretation that some people of this part of the world, they consider that, oh, the sun rising from the west is a metaphor. And the metaphor is that Islam coming from the west shall dominate the globe. And okay, I mean, that's a bit of a stretch, because the whole point here, the Quran is saying, when they see this sign, Iman is of no use. This means what? This is a sign that is simply beyond question. It's like the magicians of Fir'aun when they saw the staff become a snake. This is a sign, this cannot be magic. This is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is not some metaphor
So,
for
hindi yan
Islam
kwento-kwento
coming
lang
from the
guys,
West,
kundi
because that's
ang
not
nagpapatunay
something that is that
ay ang
amazing
mga
that the
salita ng
people
Diyos sa
all
Quran.
accept Islam. No, that doesn't make any sense. This clearly seems to be something that we just have to believe. The very last day of the existence, basically. The very last day of existence, the creation will change. And Allah ala kulli shayin qadir. And again, I don't see a problem with this, because we're talking about literally, it's something that is before the trumpet being blown. It's something that is actually understandable even. That Allah Azza wa Jal will, يَوْمَ تُبَدَّلُ الْأَرْضُ غَيْرَ الْأَرْضِ وَالسَّمَاوَاتِ. Everything will change before the trumpet is blown. And how that will happen, and the metaphysics and physics, obviously, this is another issue where they come and say, to this we say, indeed, I don't have an answer, but since the texts are so clear, and this is the standard position of all
Nga
of
pala
our
guys,
ulama,
may
so we say
courtesy to
that there is
Merciful
no,
TV
leeway here, and we
and to
accept it
Sikh
as it is. And when will this happen?
Dr. Abdul
This will
Qadir.
happen essentially on the very last day of creation.
Ilalagay ko na lang yung link
There is
ng
no
original
point
video
of a
sa
person accepting.
baba.
It's too late. It's like Fir'aun when he sees the angel of death, right? He says, oh, I see the angel of death, I'll believe now. And what does Allah say? Now? Rhetorical question. Now you're going to accept after all of this? No, it's not going to be accepted of you. And as our Prophet ﷺ said, Allah will accept the tawbah of any person until he sees the angel of death. Right? So when you see the angel of death, that is it is gone. There is no. Now, another hadith says Allah will accept the tawbah of any person until the sun rises from the west.
Ito
So
yung
there
nakakatakot
clearly
guys.
is an indication that
Yung
the sun
kukunin na
shall
tayo ng
rise from that portion, and it will be
kung
something that is
lumika na hindi tayo
manifested clear.
nakapag
This is not normal, and this is
tawbah.
going to be the final day, and everything is going to come to an
Inshallah,
end. So this is the issue of the sun rising from the west.
bigyan tayo ng
Prophet
gabay
Muhammad
ng Allah.
ﷺ told us that there are minor signs and there are major signs. Now, the minor signs, some of the scholars told us that all of them came to pass. We have witnessed all of the minor signs. Now, the concern of this presentation is about some of the 10 major signs of the approach of the hour. 5 of those 10 seem to be cosmic in nature, that they are related to certain happenings that are related to the cosmos, certain universal happenings that will take place that will tell us that the hour is approaching. And one of them is that the sun will appear from the west instead of the east. We have known that for years and years and years. And we were told that the sun will appear from the west as a sign that the hour is approaching. Now, again, I remind myself and I remind my sisters and brothers
Yes, I
that
remind you
whatever I
guys.
will mention from science that people really put as the absolute truth when we know it is not, but what we know from science is the following. What is happening is that the Earth has been rotating around its axis since the creation of the universe. In the beginning, our Earth used to complete one complete circle around its axis in 4 hours. It used to be very fast. And it has been slowing down since then. Now, it completes one rotation around its axis in 23 hours, 56 minutes and 4 seconds. And scientists know that the speed is going to diminish. The Earth is going to slow down up to a point where it will not be able to support any more decrease in its speed. When that will happen, the earth will behave like a spring that you rotate in a certain
Kakatakot, guys.
direction up to a
Sana
certain
hindi na
point
natin
when
madatnan
you
yung time na yun.
cannot really wind it
Hindi
any
na tayo
further in
aabot
that
doon.
direction. Then if
Sobrang
you
nakakatakot,
leave
guys,
it,
di ba?
what will happen? It will start to rotate in the opposite direction. And the earth is going to do that. That's what scientists tell us, that the earth is going to slow and slow and slow up to a point where it cannot, because of its mass, slow any further. Then it will stop briefly and will start to rotate in a clockwise fashion. And guess what will happen when that takes place? The sun will appear from the west. And the hadith related through the authority of Hudhayfa ibn al-Yaman from Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam about this is very clear. When the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam is reported to have said that when the hour approaches, two nights will join each other and the people will wake up from the first night to see that the night is not over yet. And they will be terrified and they will be scared.
Kakatakot,
and they will
guys,
find
diba?
that the sun did not come out.
Inshallah,
And another night came, and then
hindi na natin
two
maabot
nights
ang time na yan.
will appear in a row. And then after that, the sun will appear again, but this time it will come from the west instead of the
Mantakin mo,
east.
guys.
When that sign is seen,
Mula sa
everyone
silangan.
will believe.
Doon naman mapunta sa
Even after Dajjal and Isa comes
west.
down, there's still going to be people who don't believe.
They will believe when they see the sun coming from the west. They will say we
Pero
believe.
marami pa rin na hindi naniniwala, guys.
Reality. Where were you before?
When the sun comes out of the west,
Pero
are you going to resort
tayo
to
na nanonood nito, inshallah,
the
tayo
righteous
naniniwala
believers and the
sa
pious believers who wake up for tahajjud and pray the nafil prayers?
araw
One of them
na
will wake up at that
ito,
night
guys.
and pray to Allah, and he prays his usual prayers. He reads his juz'ah, his half a juz'ah, his 2 juz'ah, his 3 juz'ah, and then he gets to sleep. Usually, he reads his juz'ah, gets to sleep, wakes up for fajr. But this time, he'll read his juz'ah, he'll read what he usually reads, gets to sleep, wakes up, he realizes the night is still long. So he prays to Allah again, and yet fajr has not even entered. And then he sleeps again, wakes up, thinks that fajr is coming out, about to enter, prays again to Allah Azza wa Jalla,
bago
sleeps
pa man
again,
mangyari
wakes
itong
up, it's still
ganito,
not fajr.
guys,
So he realizes
sana bigyan tayo ng pagkakataon ng Allah na makapagbalik loob sa Kanya. Ito na yung mga signs saka mga ayat, signs ng Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yan, Quran.
Is their reckoning? Is the destruction? Yet they turn away and
Chapter
hate us.
21 verse 1. Yan, guys, sana may natutunan tayo sa video na ito. Inshallah, biyayaan tayo ng Allah ng ilmu, kaalaman, at bigyan tayo ng pagkakataon na makapagtauba, makapagsisi sa ating mga nagawang kasalanan bago pa man tayo anuhin ng Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Muli, happy Ramadan. Inshallah, maabot pa natin yung katapusan ng Ramadan at sa nasusunod pang Ramadan. Maraming salamat.